Hi, I'm Sally Williams and welcome to another Martogg Industry Moment. I'm with Austen from Martogg & Co. Hi, Austen.
Hi, good morning, Sally. How are you?
Really good, thank you. And today we're speaking with Anhely Millan, who has written and launched a book called Sustainability for Kids. This book is all about helping educate our younger generation on how to bring sustainability into their day-to-day activities with a strong focus on recycling and circularity, which is just fabulous. It is a great book. Welcome, Anhely. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You know, we've met a couple of times, haven't we, at different events?
Yeah.
I know you met Austen as well at the AIP conference for a couple of days there, and it was great to see you there because it's obviously really important for you to get amongst it all. But first of all, we want to hear about your background and sort of what got you to writing this book in the first place. I'm sure our listeners would love to know.
Yes. Well, I started my career as a secondary teacher, actually, for chemistry, and then progressively moved to the research and development and innovation space for product development and packaging. My most recent experience was in a company working across Australia to develop circular economy in plastics. And the reason I wrote the book was kind of like a give back to community and particularly kids, all that knowledge that I've built over the years. So it was kind of like a beautiful way to do it.
Yeah, and Anhely, the book is really interesting. I've from some first-hand experience with my 4-year-old daughter reading through it. The thing that sort of struck me right from the start is that you make the point that recycling is about reusing and transforming waste into something else, which is fantastic because I think that piece of messaging gets lost a lot of the time in that people think that all you have to do is put it in the bin and you're done with it. So the book follows Mr. Bin, I guess, who takes us through the process of something going in the recycling bin and all the way through. Could you tell us a little bit more about the book?
Yeah, so the main character is called Mr. Bin, which is a commingled recycling bin, and we decided to develop this character because it's the iconic yellow and green bin, and yes, here in Australia. The book, you're right. So the book is written in a way that shows the whole process from when you sort the waste at home, what things can you put in the bin and what things are considered contaminants, and then all the way through when it is picked up, goes to the MRF, what happens in the MRF, and then what happens with all the individual materials going through not only the process, how it gets recycled, but how it becomes a new item again. And I think it's important, as you mentioned, Sally, it's important to highlight the circularity and it's in a basic way of illustrate it through the illustrations, but it shows that waste can be transformed into something else, and particularly around plastics, where the myth is so strong and we tend to demonize it. Teaching kids that is something can be something else and something more impactful for the environment.
Yeah, I think I particularly love that on each of so you've got obviously like the recycling of the metal, of the glass, of the paper, and then obviously with the plastics as well. I love the fact that you follow all the way through to the recycled the recycled plastic, for example, and you have the bottle. But then on the next page you have examples of items that are made from plastic as well. And I know that when I read this with my daughter, she spent the next 3 days like trying to find different products, like aluminium cans, for example, because you try and explain what the different things are that these packaging items are made from, the different packaging mediums, and I found that quite interesting because it got her thinking about the different types of packaging, which is great.
Normally when you find this type of information on internet, The piece of information is around the type of plastics and the numbers, and you don't really know what that means. And so we really wanted to show through the illustrations what were those materials, so then kids can easily identify what goes into the bin and what doesn't.
Yeah, and it's also educating them to understand the importance of biorecycling as well. So when we're out and about making choices, they understand it there. And I know this book is for children, but gee, it's a great book for adults too, don't you think?
Yeah, it's just as informative for the big kids as it is the small kids, I think.
I have a lot of friends who have read the book as well. Oh, I didn't know a lot of things. Like, wow, yeah.
I see exactly what you're getting at and how you've done this. And I think you're very, very clever. Because secretly it's written for adults.
Well, yeah. The intention was also to influence parents and members, family members. My daughter particularly was big part, like she played a big role during the process, because we literally checked every single page and every single illustration with her, and then
how old is she? Sorry, how old?
13. Well, she was 11 and a half when we started writing the book, and she's 13. Right. But yeah, so testing everything with her, and then she and then suddenly one day we were at home and doing something like, sometimes that you don't realize that you're doing things, and then you are the role model. And then my daughter's like, "Hey, Mom, isn't that bottle not recyclable?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, you shouldn't have put it in the bin." I was like, "Yeah, okay." It's also a way to influence parents and family members.
I'm sure there's a lot of people listening wondering where they find the book though too. So you're in schools now, are you talking in schools?
Well, so part of what we are trying to develop at the moment is an educational program for schools. Is based on the book. Is the first one. We will develop it, more throughout the time. But the first one is about recycling with Mr. Bean, and it's a 45 minutes program. We go to schools, we teach the kids to sort the waste, and so we have had donations from different companies. So we have a Mr. Bean that we carry into schools, and then we help kids to learn how to sort the waste. The book, we have also donated books to schools. Unfortunately, some schools are not very invested on environmental programs. I don't know, maybe is it due to a budget constraint, but those who are really, taking advantage of any type of a program or material that they can. And the book is on Amazon. So anyone in the world can buy through Amazon. In Australia is through my website. You can also buy it from Amazon if you have Amazon Premium. But it's also in my website, which is www.sustainabilityforkids.com.au. You can also, through the website, have access to a platform that we are developing at the moment. It's an educational platform. It's all about sustainability topics for kids and adults. So what we are doing there is implementing a lot of educational tools and material for everyone who wants to have access, so kids, parents, teachers, and everyone. So
that sounds fantastic.
It certainly does. It's brilliant, and we are really thankful to you for writing this book, because we need more of you and we need more education around it. So it's just really good to see it in schools, because that's where it starts. I mean, these kids are the ones that are going to be leading the world one day.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And when you see the data, Sally, that now you mentioned, is so around the world we have kids aged 0 to 14, around 2 billion kids. In Australia, 2 million, close to 6,000 schools. So it is a lot. And when you multiply that by 2 parents, say for example, is basically you're reaching everyone you need to shift that mindset to a more sustainable living. And I part of what I really want to continue doing is engaging with companies. Unfortunately, at the moment, I just rely on companies and collaboration. Eventually, one of the things that we want to do is also to become a charity and provide these educational programs for free. But if, for example, companies want to invest in education as part of their marketing strategy, they could do that through educational programs that we develop for them. And yeah, it's part of what we are trying to just to reach out to schools or even sponsor one of those programs. That when you look at the investment is not really high. Depending on the size of the school, can go from $2,000 to $3,000 for one school of 1,500 kids or 2,000 kids. So
yeah, it's reaching a lot of people for a very small amount of money, isn't it, Anhely?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly that, and well worth it. Well, thank you so much for your time, Anhely. It's great to have you on board, and we'll put the details below in the link too. So if anybody wants to reach out to Anhely and get hold of that book, or just have a conversation with you directly, you can reach her that way. So thanks again, and thanks Austen, and thank you for listening. And we'll see you in the next Industry Moment.
Yeah, thanks. Talk to you soon, Sally and Anhely. Thanks again for coming along. Bye bye.
Thank you.